welcome to the Business Spotlight. Today, well, I brought an Obamacare expert. I know that may not be the most PC comment to make, but it really is what most people are referring, at least in the Texas area, to this new insurance protection, affordable insurance protection program that's coming within the next year. Well, Mark Roden is an expert in that area. He also has been in the insurance industry for over 20 years, has an enormous practice of really helping his clients get what they want in the most affordable and effective way. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks for having me, Pat.
And now, you describe yourself as an Obamacare expert with a teacher's heart.
Yes. Well, I'm Dave Ramsey's endorsed local provider here in the Dallas market. So Dave always says you don't want a salesman, you want someone with the heart of a teacher. So I've been in the insurance business for over 20 years, and these are chaotic times with Obamacare, or the Patient Protection Affordable Care Act. So
yeah, that's easy to say.
Yes, as it's affectionately known as Obamacare. So,
well, one of the things that I'm curious about, you talk about Dave Ramsey, and some people may not know who Dave is. So what's the connection there? Why is that even important?
Well, Dave is actually a national syndicated radio host. He has over 500 stations that 5 million listeners daily. And so about 8 years ago, I was selected as the endorsed local provider. So they follow up with everyone that I speak to, make sure that I really help them out. And I assure you there's probably about 100 agents in the Metroplex that are standing in line if I mess up that would love to be Dave Ramsey's endorsed local provider.
That's awesome. What does that really mean for them? Is that...
Well, we're one of the good guys. We're going to have their best
There's only a few of us left now,
That's
right?
true, you and me. We're going to have their best interests at heart. And seriously, having the heart of a teacher. If you sit down with me and where you're at is exactly where you need to be, I'll be the first one to tell you, hey, you've got great protection, great coverage here. Just stay right where you are. Let's stay connected. But you're fantastic right now.
That's awesome. When you get into this whole Obamacare arena, what are we really going to get from today's show? What's the audience or the viewers really going to get from today?
Well, we're going to get some substance, and we're also going to look into what drives Obamacare. And it's really going to boil down, as we're going to dissect in one of the segments, to subsidies. The federal government is going to lower the cost of your insurance by providing subsidies, government cheese, whatever you want to call it, to help defer the cost. Because health insurance is expensive because health care is expensive, and that isn't changing in the next few years.
Now, your industry is full of opportunities to buy insurance. Some are captive agents, some are, what do they call it?
Independent agency.
Independent agents. What's the difference, and why is that even important?
Well, it's very important. I joined an independent agency, Century Insurance Agency, to help better serve my clients. We have a whole team, basically anything insurance, we're able to help them. But back to your original question, an independent agent is not has more than one bullet in the gun, so to speak. We're not held captive to selling one insurance company's product. We're actually an advocate for you, and we're going to do what's best for you.
So it sounds like you actually work for the client rather than the company. Is that what you're trying to say?
That would be accurate.
Okay. So when you look at like the different things that we're wanting to talk about in Obamacare, what are some of the things that are going to be coming?
Well, the big thing is there's a lot of confusion on whether or not it's even coming. You know, we had the election, we had the Supreme Court. It's coming. In Texas, I'll just speak specifically to Texas. We're not going to have a state exchange, but we will have a federal exchange. And starting in October, you'll be able to go through open enrollment, and your plan effective date will be 1/1/2014. So it is coming, and it is here.
Now, what is that going to mean for people as far as if if you're under an insurance policy or a plan right now, will it change anything?
It depends. One of the biggest drivers is whether or not you have group insurance available to you right now. If you have group insurance available to you, then you won't be able to participate in the subsidy part, but you'll be able to go, maybe you're going to start a business and you can walk away from the group coverage and you can go on the exchange and buy guaranteed issue regardless of your health and history, you will be able to get guaranteed issue insurance.
Now, one of the things that I'm pretty convinced is that there is one constant, and that is that change always happens.
Yes.
So if you're employed by somebody now, I think all of us have seen the history with insurance, or not, I should say with employment, okay? So things blow up, things change, we downsize, right size, wrong size, whatever, go out of business. The options right now are COBRA and what? And
right.
How does what this Obamacare really, what's it going to mean to them?
Well, right now you could go on the individual market where they can say no. Obamacare makes it where the insurance companies cannot say no. So you have, the good part is you have coverage. The bad part, we all know that's going to cost a little more extra money. And then you're going to have the IRS involved. So in an effort to try to make it more simple, they've actually made it more complex. All the more reason you need a good health insurance counselor.
Well, one of the things that, as we move forward into these next few segments, folks, you're going to hear what it's going to mean to you, whether you're single and earning a paycheck, or if you're a family of four, and what kind of monies you're making and how much the government's going to, in a sense, throw your way. This is the Business Spotlight. Today, we're trying to give you more information about how to take care of things. We'll be right back.
You can become a published author. Discover a system that will lead you from idea to having your book on the bookshelves. Bob Baer pulls back the curtain at the More Power to Publish workshop. Watch and learn how to follow the step-by-step plan to turn your idea into a published book. Learn more at morepowertopublish.com.
And welcome back to the Business Spotlight. I'm Patrick Dewar. Today we're talking with Mark Roden. Mark is he's an expert on Obamacare as well as insurance in general. He's been practicing for over 20 years, and he's been the ELP for
Dave Ramsey.
Which ELP means
Endorsed Local Provider.
And that means you're one of the good guys.
Yes.
And there's only a few of us left.
That's true.
One of the things that I want people to be able to do, we forgot to do it last time, I want to do it one of the first things. You have information on Obamacare to keep people informed.
Yes, it's one of the reasons you're not seeing a lot of experts out there is because it's hard to become an expert when the target's moving. So I think the most important thing we can do is get connected. So we have the technology to help connect us. Just text the word E or the letters ELP to 58885 and we're automatically connected. We'll send you good information, and for any reason you want to opt out, you can do that. We're not going to spam you or do anything like that. But
basically, it's to keep them informed, isn't it?
That's right, because there's still law. The law's been written, but there's Federal Register and other things that are being laid down by the Department of Health and Human Services daily.
Right. Well, I've heard it described as that it has more bugs than an ant farm. So, they got a lot of kinks to work out, right? But we do know it's a freight train that's still coming.
Right.
Creaking or whatever, it's still coming.
That's right.
And starting October, what is it?
Well, in Texas, all over the United States, October 1st is open enrollment. The first open enrollment will go all the way to December 15th. So think of it like a corporate open enrollment. That's when you can join the plan. So the effective date for the first open enrollment will be January 1st, 2014. Regardless of your health status, you could be pregnant, doesn't matter. You can join the plans that will be available. There'll be Blue Cross, Humana, United Health. They'll have a logo of an insurance carrier, but in order to participate in the health exchange, that carrier has to meet the standards set by the federal government. And then we'll have a second enrollment all the way through March 31st. And basically, if you enroll before the 15th, then your start date would be the first of the following month. So this first year, we're going to have a very extended open enrollment period, if you will.
And one of the things that we're not trying to do is be very non-PC. We're actually just saying, look, it's coming, whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, it's heading our direction. And to get ready and to get informed. Correct?
That's right. I wear this button around town on occasion, and you would be surprised what kind of reaction I get, or just using the word Obamacare. What I would like to challenge people to do is get over talking about donkeys and elephants. Let's talk about you and your family. It doesn't matter what you agree or disagree. It's the law. It's coming. How can we help you take advantage, if you will, of the law? There's good, there's bad, and there's unintended consequences.
Now, you say good, bad, and unintended consequences. What do you think is some of the good? What do you think is some of the bad? And what is unintended?
Well, the frustrating part of my job is when I try to help somebody and maybe they're currently pregnant. Well, even the father cannot be insured if you're currently pregnant. Because the big risk is if something happens when that baby's born, by the law, it has to come on either the mom or the dad's plan. So it's good that we can cover everyone. I have no problem with that, but there's a cost associated with it. And I think when we look at some of these subsidies and the projected premiums, then that's going to be the surprise.
Okay. So unintended consequences. What do you consider unintended consequences?
Well, I think the biggest, if I had to narrow it down to one, would be, the mandates require that employers have to provide health insurance for those employers that have 50 or more employees. Some people are mixing it with a little part-time, 100 part-time, 50 full-time, whatever. If I'm an employer and maybe I'm we'll take our agency, for instance, 17 employees, and I've been providing health insurance all these years, and all I've heard is, oh, my deductible went up, oh, my copay. There's probably going to be a lack of incentive for the under 50 employer market to provide health insurance. So if you work for a smaller employer, you're probably going to become a part of the health insurance exchange fairly soon.
Now, what I just heard is that if you have less than employees, it becomes optional to insure them.
Right.
And they may very well go, well, we're paying so much to the IRS, KGB, whatever they call those people. Right. We now are going to off-ramp that expense back to the personal. And is that what you just said, is that they basically can get dismissed?
Because they've had group insurance because there's one or two. Joe in accounting had a heart attack a few years ago. He can't go out in the individual market and get insurance. Well, now Joe can. Joe can go to healthcare.gov or markroden.com, whatever, and buy insurance, and it's guaranteed. He will not be rejected. So that's going to be an unintended consequence that these small employers are going to say, why should I do this? And we have a great solution. We could show that small employer a health reimbursement arrangement, an HRA, so they can give their employee an allowance. They didn't provide group coverage, it's an allowance, and now they can go to the exchange, get coverage, and also participate with the subsidies.
Awesome. Well, you want to be here for the next few, because we're going to show you what you need to do. This is Pat Dewar, Business Spotlight. We'll be right back.
You can become a published author. Discover a system that will lead you from idea to having your book on the bookshelves. Bob Baer pulls back the curtain at the More Power to Publish workshop. Watch and learn how to follow the step-by-step plan to turn your idea into a published book. Learn more at morepowertopublish.com.
And welcome back to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. Mark Roden is my guest today, an Obamacare expert, and he's been in the insurance industry for over 20 years. He's helped thousands of people save more money than you can imagine. He is the endorsed local provider, that's easy for him to say, for Dave Ramsey. So with that, we want to go into this time, we're talking about the Obamacare and the subsidies. Yes. Now, this is when kind of rubber meets road and light bulbs go on.
That's right.
So let's talk about some examples of what people are actually going to either get or pay.
Okay, let's frame this. Remember, if you have group insurance available to you, as long as it's not over 9.5% of your employee-only rate of your income, then you can't go to the exchange and get subsidies. But if
So
you have,
typically, if you have over 50 employees, or if you're in a company that's more than 50 employees, you're going to stay with them, right?
well, any company, that's why I'm saying any company that provides group insurance, you cannot participate in the subsidies.
Okay.
So step one is do you have group, yes or no? Step two is how big is your family? And step three is how much money, how much household income do you make compared to the federal poverty line?
Now, is that gross or net income?
Gross income, and federal poverty line goes all the 400% of the federal poverty line.
Okay, so since most people don't know what the poverty line is, let's talk about it.
There's a great subsidy calculator that we have on our website, and we will actually, if you connect to us by texting ELP to 58885, we'll actually send you a link so you can play with the subsidy calculator. It's one of the few real information tools out there that right now you can estimate whether or not you're going to qualify for subsidies.
Awesome. So let's go through a couple of examples.
Okay? What do we have here?
Tell them what you want. We got
All right.
there. That's the first one.
Yeah, this is a single person that's making $25,000 a year. So that's up to 17% of the federal poverty line. You see the unsubsidized help estimated, because they haven't been published yet. That's the premium, $4,754. The law states that person, based on that person's income, 6.91% is the most they'll pay for health insurance. So that's roughly what, about $125 a month. That bottom number, over $3,000, is subsidies. So that's what the government is going to, it's a premium tax credit that the government's going to pay for you.
Okay, so just so that people are looking at just the results on these slides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next one.
Well, the same person, the income went up to $35,000, so the premium stayed the same. The percentage, 9.5% of that income. The subsidy is $1,429, and what they're paying as far as the insurance premium, that's creeping up there to like $300 a month.
Okay, so they're paying $300 a month there at $35,000, single person. Next.
Yep. Okay. This one is $45,000, $46,500, whatever it is.
That's a single person, right?
Look down at the bottom, zero. It reminds me of the Jerry Springer show. No soup for you.
No soup for you.
No subsidy for you. You make too much income on a single person. That's more than 400% of the federal poverty line.
Okay, so if they're making 50 grand-ish,
right?
They're not getting a dime from the government.
Right.
But they are paying $4,700 to $5,000 a year.
As an estimate, yes.
As an estimate.
Yep.
Ow. Next.
All right, here, this is another $100,000. This is a family of four, so it's $100,000 income. You look at the projected premiums, $17,000. Right now, that same premium for a household of four is $15,000. So there's no subsidy for this. They just get the higher premiums.
So again, you're looking at $100,000 gross income. That's not taking out your taxes. They're paying $17,000 out of pocket, regardless of how much they're paying in taxes. They're
Correct.
getting no help.
No subsidies. That's correct.
That's just at a triple digit. Okay. So next, show you what can happen.
Well, the $50,000. Now you've got a lot of help with the subsidies, and you're paying less than $300 a month, and the federal government is subsidizing the cost of your health insurance to the tune of over $1,000 a month.
Okay, so just so that we know, family of four, mom and dad bringing in 50 grand total. They still have the 17,000. They're getting a lot of help from the government.
That's correct. Based on their income and based on their family size.
Ouch. So, do we have another one?
75 is just kind of in the middle. You're getting a little bit of subsidy and you're paying a little bit more of the load. So the important thing is this is what we have to work with now. It's projections. It's actually, I don't know if you've ever seen one of these or not.
I have. I mean, just the thing that, when we were looking at putting the show together, we were talking about each of the different aspects. And of course, the thing that I noticed, and this is just me, okay,
right,
is that you got haves and have-nots. The haves aren't going to get any extra, and the have-nots are going to get a lot, which actually, in my opinion, is going to really make a rift in the culture. I know that we're coming up on another break, but I will say, as we go into this next part, you have some solutions in this next segment.
Yes, I do.
And we're going to talk about what are ways that you can actually solve this, or at least kind of get them over the hump.
Yes.
Okay. The Business Spotlight is about, well, a business owner telling their story in the marketplace. Mark's helping us today understand what our costs or benefits will be as we go into the next year. This is Pat Dewar, Business Spotlight. We'll be right back after this message.
You can become a published author. Discover a system that will lead you from idea to having your book on the bookshelves. Bob Baer pulls back the curtain at the More Power to Publish workshop. Watch and learn how to follow the step-by-step plan to turn your idea into a published book. Learn more at morepowertopublish.com.
And welcome back to the Business Spotlight. Today we're talking about Obamacare with, well, an expert in the area, Mark Roden. Mark Roden is, he's been in the insurance industry for over 20 years. He knows how to save people money, and he's done it for a long time. So, Mark, as we go into this segment, solutions.
Solutions. Lots. Just think of them as tools. We have lots of tools for large employers, for small employers, for individuals, for teachers. If you've seen the new TRS teacher rates, I'd love to connect with you and help you out. That's what I do every day, and I like a challenge, and I like helping people.
Okay, and they can connect to you at the...
Well, we've created the text, the word ELP to 58885, or if you don't have a smartphone, just go to the website, which is www.elphelp.com.
And that's on the screen, so they can actually connect to you.
Yes.
They'll continue to get information as long as they want to, right?
Right, that's correct.
And some of the things, though, when we've looked at how much it's going to either cost or benefit, but you have some solutions for people right now. I know, well, we probably ought to go. Do you want to go to that little video?
Absolutely.
We've got about a couple of minute video that really tells a solution, introduces it, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
So if we can go ahead and run the video.
Health insurance is completely impossible. It costs too much. Getting approved is a total shot in the dark, and filling out the paperwork is like passing a Mensa test, which is exactly why 40 million smart, savvy people who know they need it choose not to have it. But what if there was a way to be covered by health insurance that didn't require you to feel robbed blind? Amazingly, there's a solution out there. It's called short-term medical. It costs about half the price of regular insurance, and the coverage is similar. So why aren't more people taking advantage of this no-brainer? The fact is, short-term medical lasts 12 months, which means if you develop a life-threatening illness in that time, you might not re-qualify for the next year. That's certainly problematic. Here's a unique solution to this frustrating problem. Thanks to new health insurance regulations that start in 2014, everyone is required to be covered under major medical health insurance plans, regardless of pre-existing conditions. Now we're starting to get somewhere. That's why Health Insurance Innovations is offering an affordable bridge plan to get you through 2013, a plan that actually makes sense. In only 7 qualifying questions, we can instantly approve you for coverage. With our short-term medical plan, you save as much as 30 to 60% for a family of 4. You get similar benefits as major medical. And if you develop a condition that disqualifies you from reapplying in 2014, no worries, it doesn't matter. You can't be disqualified from traditional major medical insurance plans after your short-term medical plan runs out. Finally, there's a better solution to your health insurance headaches. Keep you and your family protected with Health Insurance Innovations' Affordable Bridge Plan to 2014.
Very good. One of the things that we've been showing you there is a solution. Mark, tell us a little bit more about what they were trying to explain.
Well, that's an excellent example of how we can help people. That's typically savings of 50%, and we're taking advantage of Obamacare because basically Obamacare has made it where the word uninsurable is extinct.
Okay.
So we could lower your premiums now, and there's some, we need to talk. It's not for everyone. I'm not saying it's a solution for everyone, but for me and my family, right now it's saving me over $200 a month.
And that's because what you're doing is you're really, I don't want to say putting a Band-Aid on it, but kind of, aren't you?
It's a bridge to Obamacare.
It's a bridge.
Yeah, and it's a 12-month plan, so the bad thing about short-term insurance in the past was if something happened in the middle of your short term, 6 month, 12 month, whatever it is, that made you uninsurable, you were off on an island. Now that doesn't exist. You actually can go directly into a guaranteed issue product.
If someone wants to connect to you, what is the process and what's their experience?
Well, we've set up the text ELP to 58885 or go to the website, which is elphelp.com. You'll get all my information directed to our website, our blogs, and we just want to stay connected. It's a conversation. Again, if you're all set and you work for a large employer, well, things are changing. So I do suggest, if it's not me, find someone that really has the heart of a teacher that will hold your hand, so to speak, throughout this process, because I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a lot of disruption in the marketplace, and good, bad, and unintended.
Right. One of the things, when someone does engage you, how do you bring somebody on as a client?
Oh, in these days, it's easy. You know, a lot of people like to meet face-to-face. I do that at Starbucks when they're in Texas. Otherwise, we just exchange emails. I have online applications. I do not play hide-and-seek with the information or the data. I send the data to the client, let them evaluate it, and take action when they want to. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean I don't care, but I don't like the high-pressure sales. You take action. If I show you a plan that saves you $500 a month and you're not motivated to take action, there's nothing I can say or do to help you along that path.
You think?
Yeah.
So they can text you, they begin the engagement, they call you, you walk them through the options.
Sure.
And because you're independent, you have like lots of choices, right?
Right. I don't know how many carriers. Every carrier that's out there, if I'm not appointed with them, I can get appointed with them if it's to your best benefit.
Outside the state of Texas, can they still work with you?
Well, yes, I'm doing a lot with life insurance outside the state of Texas. There is actually a solution. I'm glad you brought that up. Living benefits term. Living benefits term sounds just what it is what it sounds like. You actually get some benefits and you didn't die. And I'm doing that all across the United States. It's cash. If, God forbid, cancer, stroke, heart attack happened to me tonight, I could pull down $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 from my $1 million death benefit.
That is awesome. You guys heard it. Obamacare's coming. Can't stop it. There are some benefits for some, and for others, well, not. But Mark Roden, connect to him. 58885, text ELP. He'll keep in touch with you. This is the Business Spotlight. It's where you get to tell your story in the marketplace and then all over the rest of the internet. I'm Pat Dewar. Till next time, you guys have a great week.